this because it says it's loading here, but it says you're live here. So anyways, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Daily Coaching Sessions. I'm Manny Garavito. This is a show that I do on miaminetworking.com to help you out with any obstacles in your online business. There's a lot of nuances, there's a lot of details, there's a lot of things involved in order to make your business successful. And believe me, I've been there. I still am there, and there's a lot to learn because it never stops. Online business continues to evolve over time, and got my camera right. And in order for us to thrive as business owners, we have to kind of like stay ahead of the curve. However, it can be very overwhelming. And that's why I started this, to kind of coach you on the fly, a little bit of detail here and there, lay down one brick at a time. Next thing you know, you've got the entire foundation set up. Yesterday, we talked about developing content. Today, we're going to be talking about developing value, which is very elusive. So let me ask you a question to start off. When you think of the word value, what comes to mind? A lot of people will define it differently. You'll see that there's a lot of various ways to describe value, because I find things valuable that you may not find valuable, and you find things valuable that I may not find valuable. So it kind of becomes this elusive thing where no one knows what it is, but we think we know what it is, but we don't know what it is, because it's like saying everybody has the same personality. It's not possible. We're all different. So when it comes to defining value, there's certain ways to kind of get close to it, or rather uncover it based on maybe perhaps a few questions, a few preferences, maybe from past experiences, or maybe even the human condition, things like logic, emotion, physical, the five senses. Some of those things can uncover a little bit what we may find valuable in a generic sense. But to be honest, the more detailed we go into discovering what value really is, the better we are at creating it. Okay, so on today's coaching session, what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you some of the things I've learned when it comes to defining value. Okay, I have a different mic on. Okay, so for those that are watching on Instagram, again, apologies for the mic not sounding as good as it did the other day. I don't know why this camera is acting screwy, but let's switch over to the other camera so that we can get started on the presentation here. All right, yes, it works. Okay, let me bring you guys here closer, Insta. Okay, all right. I've always wanted to use this thing. This is a Q8 camera, and I've had this camera to record the comedy shows I used to do over at the bars. Remember back in the day when things were normal and the bars were open? This is the camera I used to record it. Apparently, it looks better in the night than it does when there's a spotlight on me, but we'll ride with it, okay? So here's my definition of value. A good way that I would define it is value as a desired outcome or result. Okay? That's the best I can do. Can you guys see that? Oh, you can. Let me bring it up a little bit. That's the best I can do when it comes to defining value in the most simplest terms. It's a desire of an outcome or a result. And us as business owners, the reason why we stay in business is because we're really good at creating value within our industry. So if you're in real estate, you always know how to establish the value, show the value to others. If you're an accountant, you know how to use your services and skills to make other people feel like you're capable of running their numbers for their taxes, or the more detailed you go, the better you are going to be at uncovering these things based on what you do as a business owner. However, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get a very generic sense of what value is in order for you to develop it specifically for your business. So that's the hard part. Another reason why it's hard is because I like to define value as a catch-22. So let me just box this up so we can just put some concepts in order here. Like that. That's pretty good. All right. So the reason why I say defining value is a catch-22 is because value isn't value until it's already defined. It's already in the past. I like t-shirts that don't have designs on them because it makes me feel like I can put whatever on at any time. I don't have to worry about too much designs. However, later on, I developed a keen sense of making my own shirts, and now I have a new value, whether it's a shirt with no design or a shirt with design. And over time, that changed. So I defined it, but it wasn't a value of mine back then, but it is now. So it's a catch-22. A value isn't a value until you make it a value. Now we're getting there, huh? We're going down the rabbit hole now. So here's a model that I came up with. I actually came up with this model, and I read it through the book. I got the idea through the book of Simon Sinek called Start with Why. Find Your Why is the workbook. Start with Why. So I highly recommend you guys read that book. Start with Why. So the reason why I recommend the book by Simon Sinek called Start with Why is because sometimes in order for something to become valuable, you just have to define it or describe it. I think leaders, the reason why they're so valuable in society is because the way they communicate with people is so powerful. People, when they hear a leader, for example, like Martin Luther King, JFK, Mahatma Gandhi, all these people, they communicate in a way that allows people to feel compelled to take action. And in order for us to be really good business people, we have to find that kind of language within our communications in order to make our customers feel compelled to purchase our products and or services. Okay, so the reason I say read this book, Start with Why, is because pretty obvious that why is the most important question when it comes to doing business, because you're communicating when you start with why. There's a reason, there's a passion, there's an intent, and that can be spilled over to people in your team. If you started a business and you're able to portray the vision to the people that not only are going to buy from you, but also the people that are working from you, it becomes this culture of value that continues to produce value. So check out this book, Start with Why, and ask yourself this question. This is a good base in order to start uncovering what the value is in your business. Ask why you're doing it and be really good at describing it. Don't just give like a run-on sentence or like, train of thought kind of thing. Like have it written down, look at your past, understand your story, understand why you're doing it in a way that, again, makes people feel like, I see what you're doing. That's awesome. Here's my money. I want you to continue pursuing this vision because this vision needs to be taken seriously, and it needs to, it needs to manifest, whatever you want to say, right? It needs to manifest into reality. Your idea is great, that kind of stuff. It starts with why. The other two questions is how, which is secondary to why. And the reason why how became such a important question when it comes to defining business, because this is the procedure. This is the procedure of how you're implementing the why. Okay? All right, pretty good. And then the third question that's also important is the what, which is the result. Oh, look at that. We uncovered something. Okay, so let's split this into two. This is getting mathematical now. The desire is the why, and the outcome result is the what. Oh, that's new. I didn't know that. I just saw the pattern. Okay, so here's a really good way of defining value. I like it. So let's break it down. Value is a desired outcome or result, and that's just one definition of the many, by the way. It's a catch-22. In order for you to define value, it needs to be defined first before you can define it for others. And start with why. Why is the vision? How is how you do it? What is the result? So the value in itself has the why, which is the desire, and the what, which is the result. Okay, now to make it even more easier than that, this is something that I was reading about Egyptian mythology. And according to the Egyptians, when you die, you go on this scale. Your heart goes on this scale. Okay. And let me see if I can do this right. Bear with me here with my designs. Okay, so this is me attempting to do what I was showing you in the most simplest fashion. Okay, so you would go, your heart, they would, in the afterlife, the gods, the Egyptian gods would put your heart on the scale, and then a feather of some bird or something uh, would, uh, would go on this side. However, let's just replace this feather with a dollar sign, okay? Because money is throwaway anyway, right? It's just paper. It's not really that important. So on the other side of the scale, let's say is money. This is your heart, right? Your passion. Let's say it's your why, okay? And you need to make feelings, which is a human trait, emotion, intent, benefits, more valuable than money. All right. I hope I'm not getting too dense here, but this is something that when I was thinking about it, I was saying to myself, I may be onto something here. So your why, as to why you are in business, your passions, the things that you've gone through, your story, all the experience that, and hardships that you've gone through in order to develop your business, okay? In order to grow and become the person you are, needs to have more weight than what you're asking for in price, okay? And people need to see this, okay? But check this out. If we were to add more to this idea, let's split this triangle into two. This is the top part of the triangle is the how, and this is the what. Okay? And again, this idea is a split of Simon Sinek's Start With Why and Egyptian mythology. Okay, this is me trying to convey to you in the most abstract way, yet in a conceptual like model way of how to look at creating value. Okay, because again, it's so elusive that this when it came to my mind, I wrote it down in my notes, and I'm like, let me try to explain it on a live stream for the first time to see if I can make some sense into what I'm discovering here. Okay, so this is just an insight and just the first draft. I'll probably refine this a little more and put it out in a video that could probably be an e-course. So keep an eye out for that. But I think I'm onto something here. So your why, the feeling, emotion, intent, benefits, human things like, you know, this kind of stuff needs to outweigh the price that you're asking for, the money that you're requesting in exchange for it. And people need to feel this. People need to feel what you're doing. So the how, you know, the easier it is, the simpler it is, the finer the steps are, the more the scale is able to be tilted. Because if you have like a very dense way, you're not good at online business, you're not good at communicating, the top part will start going off all over the place, and it won't help the scale tip easily. Okay, and the what, which as we define as the desired result, needs to be the base. Okay, because you could be really good at having a why you're doing it. Well, you know what? Let's just say a desired product, right? Because that is the result. Okay, your procedures need to be good, okay, in order to tilt the scale. And then the product needs to be good, because if you communicate, let's say if Apple, here's a really good way to describe this. Let's say if Apple were to describe everything that Steve Jobs said, you know, define the future, come up with great technology, put stuff out there, but the iPhone sucked, right? Let's say the iPhone didn't work so well. No one's gonna buy it, okay? So you need a good base, and that's the what. All right. Pretty proud of that. Did you guys like this? Put it on the comments. Let me know if you understood. If not, I'll just make another video explaining it. But that was pretty good. All right. All right. So in order for you to be really good at defining value, again, oh, what's up, Barbie? You're talking about biz. So in order for you to be really good at defining value, check out the book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. And don't forget, the most important question, the emotion, the intention, The things that make your product, your vision, human as possible is the why. The how is the procedures on how you can implement the why, and the what is the desired result, outcome, and or product or service. Okay. Thank you all so much for tuning into the daily coaching sessions. I do this every day, 5 p.m. to kind of show you some of the things I'm working on to help you start your online business as easily as possible so you can get a better understanding of what your goals are or what you're capable of achieving when you go into online business. All right. If you got any questions, send me an email, manny@miaminetworking.com. Oh, and one more thing. This Sunday, July 12th, from noon to 5 p.m., we're going to be doing our very second Meet the Makers of Miami. I'm excited to bring it back. We had great results and reviews on the first one. And the second one, I think, is going to be even better. So I added the link somewhere in this video, or just visit miaminetworking.com/makers. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.